Jesus, your old man must have been happy when you phoned him. How did that go down?
After my debut, I got a text from a really close family friend saying like it was a video, and Dad was like, "Cam, this bottle of whiskey is the one I got on my 50th cap." He opens it and drinks it, and I'm there like, that's class. And then that night, my sister, and she sent me a video of my dad getting carried up the stairs by my mum and my brother just carried him up the stairs. So I think he enjoyed it too.
How good, man, how good.
This week's Offload episode is brought to you by Irwin Mitchell, the official legal partner of England Rugby, supporting the England team throughout the Six Nations. The Irwin Mitchell Mentoring Club is supporting grassroots rugby by developing a community of mentors to help 35,000 young players navigate life's ups and downs, giving them the opportunity to develop both on and off the field. If you could inspire the next generation, search for the Irwin Mitchell Mentoring Club on Facebook to join them and make a positive difference to local clubs and their communities. Hello, and thanks for joining us on RugbyPass Offload with me, Marc Edwards. As always, joined by Glasgow Warriors captain Ryan Wilson and Bristol Bears prop Max Lahiff. Max, I've never seen so many chassis shots posted in such a short amount of time. How was Dubai?
Hey, when the UV radiation's like that, you just don't need clothes, chaps.
Oh my God, I am
Do you know what I mean?
glad
You just gotta
to be back in your little dungeon.
Gotta carry my dungeon of tin. No, but you really have to take these opportunities to caramelize the meat, so to speak, eh?
Oh, mate, I'm
so good for the mental health. Like the minute I got back, mate, I got hit with the biggest bout of like depression. I'd even been boozing that hard. I was just like, reality set in, back in, meetings with Pat. Woo!
Yeah, but hold on a minute. All Pat needs to do is look at your Insta, know that you're in absolute unbelievable nick, and that you've been going to the effing gym on holiday. Like, that's enough for me. Going to the gym on holiday would be like, fuck, he's done everything he needs to do.
I know, but it's more just that, it's that like hedonic escape, isn't it? Holidays and then getting back into the grind.
I know.
The dreary UK. But you know,
it's horrible, isn't it? Coming back from somewhere like Dubai.
Yeah.
In February.
And then you're just back into the heavily scrutinized game that is rugby.
Could be worse, Max. You could be having a week off like me right now, but kids are all in school, so you're stuck at home just doing jobs. It's like job week.
Job.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, brilliant. We can do loads of jobs. Oh, good. Can't wait. Absolutely buzzing. Today, we went to a shop in the middle of nowhere to look at chairs for our dining room table, which we bought without chairs, and spent an absolute fortune on chairs.
How weird is like how much chairs cost, by the way? That is an odd one.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So pause here. You obviously know it's Marc. A dining room chair. As a man, how much are you spending on a dining room chair? Like, we've got to get 8. Get 8 chairs. One chair. What's your budget for one chair?
The problem is, I know this, and it's eye watering.
How much chairs are?
It's eye fucking watering, right? It's Monopoly money as well, because you think it's for the set.
I was like 50 quid max per chair. Like, that's a lot. I thought 50 quid is going to get us something high end. Mate, it's like 130 quid for one chair, and it's not even a nice shop. I think it was called Dunelm.
Yeah, at least it sounds pricier than an IKEA job.
No, I don't think it was. You should have seen where I went. I went to a place called Clyde Bank, which is a horrible, horrible place. And it's like, I think it's like the TK Maxx of furniture, maybe. Which I thought TK Maxx was like a shop where you could barter for the clothes. I thought you were allowed to take it and say, can I have these for cheaper? My missus was like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, can you do me a bit of money off this, mate? Like, no, that's the price. I thought it was like a mishmash of clothes. Like, they're just clothes everywhere. So I thought you could haggle on price. Apparently not. So
this is bizarre. I'll go in low. We'll go in low. We'll go into the middle. That's where I'm going.
Exactly. You know, like when you're in Thailand on holiday and I'm never paying any full price for anything here. I'm haggling for everything. Yeah. These poor people are selling their lives, and I'm trying to haggle them down for 50p, $2.
Negotiation. That's a skill that you should be taught at school, actually.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about when we mentioned earlier about taking the kids out of school and taking them to a place like Thailand on holiday. life lessons,
The
haggling.
University of Life, absolutely.
Exactly. So yeah, my week off is just filled with jobs. So thank
But
you.
chairs hold their value. If you buy like big on chairs, they actually hold their value well. If you go like, if you, so my mum's an architect, and she's an absolute marine when it comes to like selecting furnitures and who the designer was and what sort of generation the chair is. And my God, they get pricey, mate. Like you're looking at like a Barcelona chair, you could pay like upwards of 500 quid, but they hold their value so well, and you can just sell them on. And it's like watches with dudes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not when you got 4 kids fucking destroying.
Yeah,
them.
just exactly lose their value 10 minutes into fucking coming through the front door.
So we literally bought chairs which can get just like they're metal chairs which can get destroyed, which you can put cushions on and off for when the kids want to wreck them, and then you put the cushions on when people come around. So anyway, yeah, we're getting a bit lost here, but
yeah.
I'm glad you're back from your holidays. I'm glad you had a lovely time. It was sickening the amount of topless photos you put on there, but if I had a shatty like that, I'd be doing it as well.
Yeah, get the memories out, boy.
I'm at that point, you put the kids in front of you so you don't see, you know what I mean?
Dad bod 3000.
Yeah. Right, kids, there you are. And my shoulders are still narrower than my 7-year-old boys. Behind him, Marc.
Yeah. And thank God you didn't pass those on to him, man.
Yeah, I know. Thank God he got his mum's shoulders. I think I got my mum's shoulders, definitely. Bloody hell.
Well, Max, ironically, my wife now knows who you are. I mean, we've been doing this show for how long now? No interest whatsoever. And then she saw me and she's like, "Oh, who's that?" I'm like, "That's Max, the guy I work with every week." It's like, "Oh, he's him." I'm like, "Yeah, great. So there you go. You're now somebody in the household." How was going back to train?
For Instagram searches, haven't you? And you found Max Lahiff after she saw it. Yes, Max.
Followed by somebody with the same name as me. Don't be sliding into DMs, mate. Right, Max, talk us through how was that horrible juxtaposition of Dubai into a Tuesday at training?
Lads, the Goose Day's got out of control over here, lads. I'm not gonna lie, it's just like 1066 and Hastings. You're just battling for and it goes on. My God, and it's just full goo. Start off with units. Actually, first you got to just do this like running for a while because he wants to get the meters up on the GPS. All for adaptation. Make that like, you know, when you're in that first gear and on the field, he wants that to be like faster, the S&C coach. So he wants that to be higher. So they'd like load that into the pins. Then you got to take your dusty getaway sticks up to units. And then you got like full more. And again, we've been through this before, but the non-23 are baying for your flesh. And it's just Mortal Kombat. And then you're into the gym for like decent eccentric loading on the getaway sticks, you know, like robustness, so it's like injury prevention. So we're looking at sort of like the hinge movements. We're going to protect the hamstrings, a lot of seated calf raise, protect the calf, sort of the injuries that classically mire rugby over the season. We started
doing a bit of that, the old robustness after training. They make sure it's after training because
pre-fatigued.
Nordics, horrible exercise.
There you go. Yes.
The old calf loading. Where you doing these?
Yeah. The papers.
Nordics, guys, explain a bit more.
So a Nordic's like a hamstring sort of. You're sort of strapped in on your knees, and then your ankles are in these sort of braces, and you like cobra down and up. But most people just go like slow, like that.
I just go bump and flop
like that. Yeah.
And then sort of like crack back up where you see people like Quay Cooper going the old touching and you're like back up. Surely you can do that, Max. Nah, you've got too much weight.
Absolutely.
You can. Well, can you actually?
Not after rugby though. No, I admit I'm dust after code. They always forget the props are doing like scrums and stuff. So all the backs are just, you know what I mean? They're having a jolly and you've just been in there doing one rep isometrics and then you've got to run around and do everything else that everyone else is doing.
I do love power day. That's my favourite day, a Thursday, where we just do power. It's not about lifting loads of weights. It's like a couple sled pushes or just a little bit of speed work in the gym. Minimal weights, just a little bit of fun. Competition.
Just finally, and then it's all measured and you're just finally tuning the body just before the great day on Saturday. Agreed.
Well, Ryan, you're back in the starting 15 and Kel Surprise, your boys then go on and thrash Connor at their place. Although it seems like the celebrations on the bus post-match turned out to be a bit of an expensive mistake for you.
Well, yeah, it did. Can you say "quelle surprise" in the French accent? Because you obviously speak French.
No, but then it makes me sound like such a knobhead.
Yeah,
then
but
it's
you
like,
are. No, come on, do it in your French accent because you want to.
You're back in the starting 15, and quelle surprise, your boys, Rash Connor at their place.
Lovely. Yeah, no, there was an expensive mistake made. I left my phone on the bus, didn't I, Max? That's why I've been off the grid. And by the way, yes, it happened.
Exactly. I was like, hold up, deja vu.
Again. Oh, no, man. Oh, what a pain in the arse. Again, the people that say, oh, it's been lovely not having a phone. No, it hasn't. It's been fucking hell. It's life just put on hold. Can't do anything. Just a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. So, yeah, I left it on the bus. So it's been doing the rounds in Shannon. I've seen it like going everywhere. And I could see it on the old Find My iPhone. And you could track it. I was like, what's it doing there? I was thinking, have I thrown it off the bus? But yeah, it turns out it fell out my pocket, back seats. But it was hard work trying to translate what the Irish bus driver was saying when I phoned up to get off him. I didn't understand much of what he said, and I think it's coming back. So I gave him my address, but I can see it's still sat in Shannon Airport now. So I don't know what's going on, but yeah, nightmare, absolute bloody nightmare.
You finished the weekend second in the URC behind Edinburgh. So Scottish clubs on top. Do we think it's a good omen ahead of the Calcutta Cup on Saturday? Yeah,
well, if I start boasting about it, I'll get absolutely bad. There's a lot of teams who've got a lot of games in hand. So let's just slow down a little bit. A few of the Irish teams have got a game in hand, which we'll come on to. But no, that's good. It is good. Like Edinburgh have been going well. They've got some tough games, though. They've had pretty easy fixtures up until now, I'd say. So it'll be interesting. We cling on up there with the top, and then those Edinburgh derbies become pretty interesting. Excited about this weekend, and as discussed with Cammy earlier, I've got high hopes for Scotland this weekend. It's been close over the last 4 or 5 years. It's going to be a bloody interesting game. Do you agree, Max?
I do. I think it's going to be tight. I reckon. Did you see? There was this meme that I really enjoyed of. Yeah, with the four meme. Oh, that made me
so good.
I was like, yeah, fair. That's actually completely on point. I think that's the sort of narrative we're going to be like talking about with this game. It should be so tasty. I can't wait, and everyone's going to be tamming for it.
Because it's a very different England team as well. I feel like it's such a different England team.
A lot of the faces you used to associate with it are just not there. It's so interesting. I agree. It's going to be good. Yeah.
So, oh man, I can't wait. And like, again, we'll come on to it later. But like the danger that Scotland have in the back line.
Well, it's Cam Redpath saying, just going through that he's in training and looking inside and outside, and you've literally got Ali Price, Finn Russell, Chris Harris, and Stuart Hogg. And Sean Maitland, he was saying as well, that was in last year's game. But you basically got Lions all around.
He was the only back that wasn't a British and Irish Lion, effectively. Well, obviously at the time. But yeah, the only back in there that wasn't a British and Irish Lion, if you look back at it, which is crazy to think. So, oh man, it's going to be an exciting one. So yeah, look forward to that.
Also, right, I don't think that many people, because unless you are Scottish or avidly really researching the Scottish side, you actually forget that there are so many high quality players in that back line. It's as good of a squad as ever by yourself not being there.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what makes it so exciting. And like I genuinely believe that the English fans still think,
they're favourites.
Come up there and we're favourites. Like I think it's a pretty even playing ground now.
I think the proper rugby heads. The problem with the Six Nations is it's sort of it becomes bigger than rugby, doesn't it? It's sort of it's almost like a European tourist attraction. It's pretty weird. But I reckon the actual rugby heads will see this game as being very tasty. But yeah, I agree with you. Any kind of I just come to watch Six Nations England fan will be like, yeah, expecting the win, but we know better. Although I still think that England pack's full of absolute Urukai. That's going to be the real obstacle, not the back line, I think, for Scotland.
Front five. Well, we love front five, don't we, Max? We bloody love front five. But honestly, front five is where, England
gets done. Yeah.
So, doesn't it make for exciting rugby?
Oh, mate.
God, we are proper codeheads.
It's so cody right now. I love it. Just in the mud, squealing.
Oh, God. Come on, let's talk more rugby.
Quick one on your old teammate on loan at Bath. Max picking up the man of the match on debut. Take us through how incredibly dangerous he was, no?
Yeah, it wasn't surprising. He'd been working so hard in the gym. He's got back into some like proper shape. And he just wanted that opportunity, didn't he? And then every Quinn boy was feeling it whenever he got into contact. A few little cheeky pick and goos, classic Fiji styley. And then Big Andre felt a few nates on the charge, and then Tyrone Green got a good one as well. He tried to get up. You don't want that. You don't need that. He is so big. Like, I always forget how big, like how huge he is. I just take it for granted. Then when you haven't seen him for a while, you're like, oh my God. Like, he must have the largest hip bone in pro rugby right now. Like, ridiculous. He's just different size. Like, other than like maybe Skelton, but Nathan Hughes, ridiculous.
There was Big T, Tangeli Naivoru,
but Big T's like Nate on the wing, but still.
You're right. They use the big old hips, the big childbearing hips. Boosh, take that.
Yeah, have it. Yeah, try and chop this bad boy. No chance.
Man,
wrapping yourself around a red panda tree, it's no chance of that.
He
was class.
Absolutely buried that Tyrone Green's ribs though.
Fair
enough. Like, just as he's passing the ball.
Just as he's passed it, you could just tell he's like nice and flaccid. He's just passed the ball off. Next minute, it's all you can eat ribs at Tony Roma's. Mate, I'm so happy for him. I think, it just shows how much work he's put in as well. And he's got the opportunity.
$500,000.
And all he's doing is Snapchatting me. He's Snapchatting me all over. So there's a chef at Bath called Big Mike. I just call him Big Mike. And he's like he's the best cook in rugby. I'm putting it out there, like an absolute freak in the kitchen, makes the finest meals on the planet. And Nate is obviously a big foodie. You can tell because he's like gouty and huge. But anyway, he's just Snapchatting me all the food. I've been there, I've done that, pal. But he keeps sending them to me. I'm like, I'm very jealous. It's just incredible. It's even gone up a level since I left. They've got like labels on them: recovery, gainer, all this stuff. Oh mate, it's nuts.
And they train in that massive like mansion, don't they? They've got
it's like Wayne Manor, but just for rugby. You make the gym's in an old converted chapel in a stately home. It's so bizarre. You're like walking around, you're like, this could be a National Trust building. This should be listed, and they just got like power cleaning in the goddamn in the altar.
Hey,
the Temple of Tin. Come on.
That is exactly. Can you imagine this bloke in the church doing weights? Oh my God.
This is so right. This is so right. This is holy ground.
Literally before taking to the bar. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for what we're about to do.
But like, there's like where they eat as well. There's like a oh my God, it's like a huge mahogany banquet table. You could row a boat off it. Like, it's ridiculous, and it's like got like the deer heads everywhere. It's nutty. You feel like you're in a game of Cluedo. It's nuts.
Leather bound books and all.
Just rich mahogany. Just smells so deep and masculine.
Were you there when they scrummed against the F1 car?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. It was so OTT, wasn't it? I loved it though.
Have you seen that, Marc?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so good.
That was a cool day. That was a good day. Yeah.
Oh, you would have been all over that.
Max,
that was very cool.
He's now said Nathan Hughes has said he might try and make the deal permanent. What are the main things the lads are going to miss about him in Bristol, sort of both on and off the pitch?
Oh man, he's a massive personality off the field. I think they're just going to miss that general like I know, in the nicest kind of way, that childlike nature he has for everything. Like, he just brings mirth to any like tough situation. Like, even when it gets a bit dark, there's always Nate just trying to make everyone laugh and stuff. And then also just his profuse sweating. I always found that funny. I've never seen a man sweat so much. He could like walk like just 2 steps. Man starts sweating. He looks like he's just been for a swim. It's unbelievable. That'll be funny.
Has he got a Fijian accent?
Yeah. But oh man, he's always good crack as well. Great on the steam. Always one of the last men standing as well. Classic. But,
was that a new hairdo he had done for the game as well? It looked like he'd gone like for the old double.
Nah, he's had that going for a while actually. It got real fruity at one point. He had like extensions in it. So like the plait went like down to the middle of his back, and like what else did he do? He started dyeing it different colors. It was red, blue.
Yeah, I think it was blue for the game.
Yeah, it was a strong look. It's a very strong look. He's a big personality. Like he's always about like being out there, isn't he?
Right, let's move on to our preview of the Six Nations. Obviously, kicking off on Saturday afternoon in Dublin when the Irish take on the Welsh. Max, Ireland incredibly impressive over the autumn. How do you see the game going?
Oh, it's Six Nations, pal. You got to throw the form books out the window. And I looked at that Welsh squad and I was like, yeah, they're all legit. They're all savages. It's going to be tough. I think all the home nations. This is going to be competitive. I think I'm going to go with a. I still favour Ireland, obviously at home, and they are in good form. So I'm going to go with a 32-15. So it'll be tight up until about 65, and then that last 15, they'll get it done. They'll stretch their legs away.
Okay, very good. My predictions is both of your fortes. You've actually gone quite niche into scores and when the scores start leveling out,
just to really screw them over.
in my crystal ball, aka
Ryan.
Oh, yeah, exactly the same. Like you said, Wales will turn up, but Ireland are just another level at the moment, I think. Well, they were. Who knows what's happened over the last few months since the autumn tests. But the way that Leinster pack has been operating and some of their boys, you've got to give it to Ireland, haven't you? So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Ireland will beat Wales. And you want to score? Right, here we go. I'm going to say Ireland 25, Wales 13.
Okay, well,
yeah, similar. I like that.
As a Welshman, I'm thrilled because that basically means Wales are going to win because you both picked Ireland. Thank you. Oh, heart and mouth moment that was. Okay, so then we go to Murrayfield for the Calcutta Cup, an England team with some key injuries and COVID cases as well, taking on very strong-looking Scotland squad. Ryan, how do you see this one going?
Oh, bloody hell. I think it's going to be tight, I think it's going to be tight. And I just hope that Scotland don't get bogged down into like international rugby because it's a very different game, but with the potential and the threats we've got in the back line. Oh, it's going to be tight. I'm going Scotland, obviously, like that's a given. And that's not just because I'm full of Scottish blood, but that is because I genuinely think Scotland are going to win this one. Oh God, it could be like a Harlequins type game where it's like you score, we score, you score, we score, you score, we score. So yeah, I'm going to go for that. I reckon it's going to be something big. I reckon it's going to be like 28-23 Scotland.
Max?
25 all. It's going to be a draw.
Oh, such a niche call.
Oh my God. I'm going in. It's a draw.
The draw.
I'm calling a draw.
Yeah.
25 all.
Yeah. It's going to be entertaining.
It's going to be so bloody close.
It's going to be close. I'm going with a draw, lads.
I
feel it. I feel it. It's so exciting. I can't wait. We got so many new guys to see. Scotland are on form. Sometimes they played in the past previously. A little bit.
You're right. It's going to be all. I reckon it's going to be all down to the. I reckon England's pack might have the upper hand, but Scotland's backs have the upper hand. It's going to be a real How do they go? What do they do? Bloody hell. I'm
The
excited.
enigmatic Finn. And then we've got like Duhan van der Merwe, the biltong munching Aryan juggernaut. I can't wait. It's going to be class. Also, I also think that Owen Farrell injury makes it quite interesting for Marcus Smith. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the
No
centres are up. But no Joe Marchant, which I'm gutted about. Just saw he came
And
down
was that
with
because of
it.
COVID?
Yeah. And
Bloody
he's been outstanding, so that's a bit gutting. Because I wonder if he would have featured starting now with that berth in the centre opening up. But no Manu, no Faz, big names missing. But just makes it more interesting in a way. Like it should be so good.
We were talking about it earlier on, like, have you seen some of the stuff that Eddie Jones has obviously been saying to the England boys about how the hostility of coming to Scotland, etc., etc. Like, again, some of their players won't have experienced that. And the Scotland fans will be absolutely frothing for this one.
Yeah.
And imagine how, like, the atmosphere. I can't wait. I'm going through, I'm doing some stuff, hospitality stuff in the BT tent, and then I'm getting inside that stadium.
The brown envelope money,
Genuinely, I'm probably not really angry that I'm not involved. I'm actually looking forward to getting out there and watching the game, like, and being like, this is going to be so good. I'm buzzing for it.
On Sunday, it's France welcoming the Italians to Paris. The French looked untouchable at times in the autumn. Do we give the Italians any slither of hope?
No, that's going to be a tough ask. Like, no, they're dust, unfortunately, in that matchup. Wait, where is it? In Paris?
In Paris.
No. Unless, like, no chance.
Oh, listen, hey, how good if Italy beat France? Like, amazing. I'm looking forward to the national anthem. They go for it, don't they? But I just can't see them getting much out of that. And it's not the way that France are going. You know what? I think if they were to play anyone first up, if they got Wales in Italy, they would have been happy with that. But France away, tough. Very tough.
Yeah, they got, I think, Pelledri's back. You know, they have got some players, they just don't seem to have the depth.
Yeah. Should we, now that we've finished with the predictions, should we predict the table?
You want to predict the table?
You want to predict the table?
Go on then. You've already thought about this.
No, I haven't. I just started thinking there because I
right, go on. Right.
From the bottom up, I go Italy, Wales.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, but that's a safe one, isn't it?
Italy, Wales, England. England could be fifth again, I think, this year.
And there's the prediction. Wilson predicts England fifth.
Hold on. Am I right? Did they finish fifth last year?
Yeah.
Was it fifth?
No, fifth.
No, Max.
Yeah. Lost 3 games.
Typical England fan down there.
Typical fanboy. Just arrogance.
I forgot that we finished fifth. Yeah, that just.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I know we didn't get the Grand Slam, but
yeah. Let's just brush that one under the carpet.
Okay. So you're saying England again?
No, I'm going to go Italy, Wales, England.
Just remember, Scotland lost to South Africa. England beat South Africa.
Yeah, mate. Are you been on Twitter? You got?
No, I haven't.
Twitter.
I have not. I'm just telling you what happened recently. Okay. And this is the last time these boys took it for a spin.
Right. Okay. Your bottom 3. I'll start with my bottom 3. What's your bottom 3?
Italy, Wales, Scotland.
Oh, you bastard!
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, you reckon? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right.
That's how I'm going, bro.
And okay, now I started with this, so you can start top down. Who's going to win it?
I think Ireland are going to win it.
Oof.
And then, Ireland, England.
Who does that leave? France.
France in third.
So
Interesting. I mean, they literally crushed
you've
the All
got
Blacks.
Ireland, England, France.
Yeah, but I feel like,
Wales.
did you not see that Ireland crushed the All Blacks, France crushed it? I just think the All Blacks were dust. I don't think it was a true barometer of their ability. at that time. That's what we were set. Well, that's what I thought anyway.
I'm going to go France, Scotland, Ireland, England, Wales, Italy.
Okay, so two very, very different Six Nations there.
I want Scotland to win, but
you're thinking, brain over heart. Got you.
Well, speaking of predictions and who's going to have the greatest impact on the matches this weekend, we're delighted to be partnering with ASX Sports, the world's first fantasy rugby platform with live in-game trading for this Six Nations campaign. Unlike traditional fantasy rugby games, each match is a separate contest with great cash prizes and sports coins up for grabs. So every Six Nations weekend, you have 3 opportunities to play and win. This free game allows you to play along live and trade players in real time that you think aren't performing to your expected standards. It's so simple. All you have to do is spend $1,000 fancy dollars on player shares. You select how many shares you want in each player, and they accumulate points based on their on-pitch performances. The more shares you have in top-performing players, the more points or dividends they earn you. The only rules are you have to have at least 3 players or more selected. So this Six Nations, we're putting Max up against Ryan. Whoever has the most points at the end of the campaign will be the champion. And the loser, drum roll, will have to take on Gloucester's very own Milk Challenge. We'll pick 1 match a week here for you to play on. And this week, of course, it's the Calcutta Cup. So you'll tell us your 3 players you've selected each for your ASX fantasy team for this match. Download the ASX Sports app now, play along for free in the Six Nations to see how much money you can make. And then we'll see how much milk one of the boys gets to drink.
Well, so we're thinking fantasy football, NFL vibes, thinking tackles, we're thinking meters gained, potentially kicks. First week, I'm only allowed to pick from Scotland because it's my home nation. I'm going for, I don't know the team, but I'm going to put Hamish Watson in there, breaks a tackle, and gets a turnover. I'm guessing there's big points for turnovers. Hamish Watson, definitely. Van der Merwe for meters. Duhan van der Merwe will make some serious meters. I don't want to give away my... I'm going to give it away to you, Max. Hookers. Mate, hookers at the back of mauls. They score so many bloody tries. It's a disgrace.
All right, I'm going to go... I think Freddie Steward's in hot form. I'm going to go with Freddie Steward, who's doing very well. He's doing some very good things at the moment. For first Six Nations, I think he's going to be very, very, as an established 15 now for England. So I'm going to go Freddie Steward. And then I'm going to go with Courtney Laws, because he's the man, absolute. And then
maybe line out takes comes into it, and you get points from that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with any. I want to see what happens if I go with guys I just know who are super consistent. So I'm going to go with Marrow as well, the control, because he has so many game-breaking moments. So those are my 3: Courtney, Marrow, Control, and Freddie Steward.
Do head to the App Store, download the ASX Sports app and play along for free in the Six Nations and see how much money you can make and how much more money you can make than Messrs. Wilson and Lahiff. Well, meanwhile, earlier on, myself and Ryan were delighted to have a catch-up with the Scotland and Bath Centre, Cam Redpath, who himself is on a 100% winning record against England. 1 cap, 1 test, 1 win. So hopefully he's lining up over the weekend. So delighted to be joined by Bath and Scotland Centre, Cameron Redpath, currently on a quick break from gearing up for the Calcutta Cup. Probably the most important first question. Cam, do you even know who Ryan is?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, thank God. Mate, you could have really embarrassed me there. Of course he knows I am Marc, you tosser.
Brilliant. Cam, just to start with, how are the lads shaping up before the massive clash with England this weekend?
Yeah, good. It's sort of a big game, isn't it? England, Scotland. So the boys are buzzing. They're excited, and we've had a few good results against them over the last few years. So yeah, it'll be nice. First one back with fans as well for a while. So yeah, it should be a good game.
Is everyone exclusively in Scotland stash throughout these camps, and has that always happened, Ryan, as well?
Yeah, that's all. Well, mate, he's halfway through the day. Remember, we usually record this stuff at night, so boys will be able to chuck on their civvies and jump on here. But you've got this poor bloke coming in halfway through lunch. He's going to get torn to shreds. He's meant to go back out. He's got to knock his pan in this afternoon. What are we, Tuesday? Tuesday's a tough old session.
Tough day. The big day, yeah. I was debating on putting hoodie over the top or something so no one knew, but it's a bit too late now.
Who's the Scotland media manager at the moment? It's not MJ anymore, is it? He doesn't know.
I don't actually know.
I thought they would have told you had to wear some sort of Scotland kit to come on it.
No, I don't even know I'm on it, to be honest.
Oh, you're going to be in trouble there, mate. That's always the way. You got to kick about in your Scotland stash. When did you get back in? So you played at the weekend, did you?
Yeah, so we had a Friday game, so it was all right. I had a kind of weekend off as well. So it was Friday night game, and then Saturday, Sunday. We came back Sunday midday.
So Cam, there's talk of this probably being the best individually talented Scotland squad in years. Obviously, apart from the fact Ryan isn't there. But what's the feeling in camp? Can you guys win the Six Nations this year?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think I did an interview about 2 weeks ago about all the Scotland stuff, and I think this year is kind of probably the first time in a while where it's felt like anyone can win it. And you know, it all kind of comes down to consistency. If you win your first 2-3 games, you kind of like you're up and running and you're flying. So you know, hopefully we can get a good start this weekend, and you know, if we do that, then it just puts you in good momentum. But yeah, there's some good teams out there, and as you said, that this Scotland squad's got a lot of depth now, which is pretty nice.
I think for the first time in a long time, we say it all the time, don't we? But I mean, until we won that game at Murrayfield, it was the first time in 10 years we've won the Calcutta Cup, and then slowly, I think it's the last 4 years since then. Like they've been tight old games. I mean, we've kept hold of it 3 times out of the 4 or 5, I think it is.
There was a draw as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the same as it used to be, and I think a lot of Scotland fans are getting bloody excited about this one because you get this one done and dusted. It's an exciting old Six Nations. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but I'm buzzing for it. I'm bloody buzzing for it.
Well, a lot of the lads in camp surely haven't even really lost to England, right? Or are not used to losing to England, like historically Scotland teams of old.
Yeah, I guess so. There's a lot of new faces over the last year or two. So yeah, I got a lot of them. Like for me, I've only played the once, so it's pretty easy for me to say it. But yeah, I think a lot of new faces, which will be good. And you know, they've not played the English, so I guess a lot of it's I've not got like the thought of, oh, here's the English. It's kind of like, oh, it's just another rugby game in a sense. And if we play well, we know what we can do. So I guess that's all we can worry about.
Mate, so you've never you played at Murrayfield in front of fans?
No. I only played my first game at Bath in front of a crowd 2 weeks ago.
Bloody hell!
So because I joined in the middle of COVID, played my international debut in COVID, and then I've had the 2021 was like injury year for me, but I just 304 days I spent injured, so I missed all the time at the start of this season with fans. So a Friday night and Leinster the week before was only 2 games I played with fans in over 2 years.
This is something we spoke about on here quite a lot, and we've said, like, I feel so sorry for some of the guys that get their first cap in front of no fans, and like just the experience, mate. You wait till this weekend, like Murrayfield's. Obviously, you've been and you would have been to games when it's been sold out and absolutely pumping, but mate, when you're involved in that sort of stuff, especially the England ones. Have you seen the stuff the English have been throwing out this week about? Have you seen any of that?
I've not really. I don't really look at it. I'm not really I don't really get fazed by anything if I did look at it. So I just kind of I just worry about my own stuff, and like I don't really care about all that. So I don't even look. Has
Tooney been bringing it up? Is he
not really. Nah. I think you know, like last year it kind of started. It was a lot bigger than obviously for me last year. It was my first cap, so it was kind of quiet and no one really brought anything up with it. It was kind of like stay in this bubble and just get our stuff right. I think it's pretty similar this year. Just, you know, worry about our own game, and we back ourselves. If we get it right, we can beat pretty much anyone. So, not really.
They've been talking it up, saying that they've Eddie's been telling them get ready for the hostility, get ready to be getting shouted at and all sorts. Don't know where that stems from, but hopefully they get a little bit of that when they come in, because I think they do feel the pressure when they come up to Murrayfield now, especially with fans in the stadium. I mean, who was on last week that was talking about that bloody South Africa thing, Marc?
I know.
Ben Earls was saying that Eddie Jones created this, like, at Penny Hill Park, like fans all down the side, and then inside their training centre, and they had like Dwayne Vermeulen cardboard cutouts and like South African fans screaming and shouting and loads of music and the South African national anthem just before they went to dinner, just to understand what it's going to be like. I wonder whether they've done it this week.
Got that. They probably won't have this soon. This week, a load of boys in kilts just screaming at them.
Yeah, or just me, picture of me winding them up in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Tony actually asked me to come down and be in the tunnel waiting, so I'll see you on Saturday afternoon.
Well, Cam, you talked a little bit about that injury. How tough was that period of rehab for you?
Yeah, it was pretty dark, to be honest. I got just quite unlucky with a few things. You know, I came out of the Six Nations with a bulging disc in my neck, which I wasn't aware of. I had a label down my shoulder for like over a year before this, and I just kind of thought that was the issue, because my right arm was kind of stopping, like my tricep and my fingers were just kind of playing up a little bit, and I could do everything, I just couldn't push off my right arm, and that was kind of it. And just before the England game, it was kind of like playing up, and I didn't want to say anything because it was like the day before the game, and I was like, oh, I can't pull out now. Like it's been a big week. And then, you know, as I said, it was fine for the game. And then after the game, it got a bit worse again. And they were like, right, okay, we'll get a scan. We just want to make sure it's all right. Saying that, you know, hopefully it'd be 2 weeks out. Ended up being 10 weeks. Came back, maybe 6 games later, I did my ACL. And then because I did my ACL, they were like, well, we might as well do your shoulder now as well, because we couldn't do it when your neck was bad. So I had like from May this year, I had like 8 months there where I was shoulder and knee rehab every day. And it was just, the first, like, say, 10 weeks were the worst, because like, everything was just going wrong. I got COVID. One of my mates actually passed away, and it was just like hell for like 10 weeks. I just couldn't seem to find a bit of a positive anything. So once my shoulder was done and that was the operation was done, it was actually kind of like a bit of an upwards path, and you know, back to running and training again. But yeah, it was a dark year, to be honest. Even though it had a good start with beating England, but it was from then on it got a bit worse.
What have you made of Nathan Hughes on and off the pitch since his arrival? Quite an impact he made. Yeah,
no, he was brilliant at the club, and you know, I've only ever played against him before, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like playing against him. He's quite like an energetic guy, so he's like noisy, and playing against him with someone like that, it just gets on your nerves. But playing with him, it was the other thing. I was absolutely loving it. I was joining in with him when he was belting people.
Oh mate, who did he empty out? That someone Green? Is it Trevor?
Tyrone Green.
Tyrone Green,
yeah.
Absolutely
and he got
buried
as well. He got Estays in the Big 12 as well. He absolutely belted them both, and I was just stood up. I was like, brilliant, let's go.
Oh, just as that Green's passed the ball as well, nothing worse.
Yeah.
The old ribs are exposed, douche.
Fair play to him though. He carried on playing. I was thinking I would be off there. I mean, you know, any other back would be gone there. Fair play to him. He carried on.
Yeah, he's stuck in it. That was some game. Like, one thing that I've looked at with Bath at the moment, and even then again at the weekend there, pal, your fans are unbelievably loyal. Like, listen, let's not beat around the bush. We've had a pretty shit old season so far.
Yeah.
And it's starting to come back now. But, mate, that place is always absolutely ram-packed. I know it's one of the most iconic rugby places to go and play, like the Rec, obviously everything around it. But, mate, the fans just turn up every week and still giving it some, aren't they?
No, definitely. You know, it's been, as you said, it's not been a great season at all. And, you know, we've every single week we get like a minimum of, I think it's 14,000 every week. So to get there on Friday night it was absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
You know, with as in Nathan, big hits, Will Muir scoring 2 tries, like it was unreal. And for me, who have not played a game with fans in over 2 years, I was at AJ Bell before with what 4,000, 5,000 people there. To then come to Bath, where it's actually a rugby town, and get that, it's crazy. And then even after the game, like for the past 8 months, I've been watching all the games and still thinking how are we getting these many people? Like we've lost every game. How are we doing this?
Yeah.
And then, as you said, like even one win just changes it all, and they're the most energetic, buzzing fans when it's going right, and it's brilliant.
But I can't remember who we had on, but it's a small place when you get it wrong, and you get a bit of stick when you're out in the towns, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, I wasn't even playing for the last couple of months, but everyone was, if you're in Sainsbury's, sometimes the big losses happened in the middle of town. And, if you're wearing Bath kit, you get some evil eyes. And me, Miles, Reed, and a couple of other boys went for breakfast after the Sarries game. Obviously, I wasn't even playing, but there's a couple of old lads, they were like old men, like 70 odd, having a cup of coffee, reading the paper. We sit down, and me, Miles, and I think it was Bayliss, looked over at this guy and just like went, morning, and he just like looked at us like, and I was just there like, oh, and like, little things like that happen. It's nightmare.
Rough but smooth, mate. You get there.
Yeah.
They'll be absolutely loving you boys Saturday morning anyway. I bet you went out for breakfast then, didn't you?
Yeah, that was good. It was JJ's 150th, so some of the lads are out and a bit hungover.
Yeah, how was Friday night after the game, after the win?
I wasn't, because my knee was a bit puffy. I was being professional.
Mate.
But no, it was good that some of the lads, it was just a relief, and especially for JJ, he's been massive for, like, especially we've got a lot of young boys playing this year, and the help he's put towards them and made them feel so comfortable playing rugby, and he's always playing with a smile on his face as well, which, to see a senior lad playing with a smile on his face is always nice. So for him to get a win like that on a Friday night for his 150th was massive, and the boys really, really enjoyed it.
Cam, you made your long-awaited debut at fly half, a position you never played before. How did you find it?
Tough against La Rochelle, to be honest. Out of position, it was a bit weird, but I think I've done it before off the bench. It's not really my favourite position. I love it. I quite enjoy a carry here and there, and seem to find myself jackling a lot, which is probably a bad habit, but I quite enjoy it. So yeah, it's probably not my favourite position, but we've had a couple of injuries in key positions this year, and it was just something we needed to do. I think we had nothing to lose in Europe. We've not won a game yet, so as I said, we've been poor this season. So it was kind of like, you might as well go there, try and express yourself, get some game time under your belt, and if you lose, like we can't really qualify, I don't think. So it was just about getting game time really, and I said I'd do it, and I said I'd help out. So it was just nice to get some game time.
You get to learn from one of England's greatest talents in Danny Cipriani. What's he like around training and to kind of learn from?
Yeah, he's good. He texts me quite often about like little things in attack to develop on, and he's been quite unlucky he's had a few head knocks this year, which have kept him out for a while, because if you get a certain amount in the year, you have to take an extended time off.
Oh, that's he's not playing at the moment.
Yeah, he took a knock against Northampton, and then it was just an extended time because he's had 2 this year or something. So yeah, a bit frustrating. I'd love to have played with him, and I'd hope that I can play with him a bit this season. But yeah, he's been really good for me. He texts me every once in a while and just says like, why don't you try this next time in attack? Why don't you do this? And Friday night he was really good with me and Max, because obviously Max is a centre as well. He's playing at 10. We both had to help each other out, and I ended up doing some of the backfield stuff because Max wasn't comfortable kicking wise, and I did it 2 weeks before against La Rochelle. So Danny, he was good in that side of things. It was nice to have.
Cam, you made your debut for Scotland. We talked about it, but in last year's 11-6 victory over England at Twickenham, you comprehensively outplayed your opposite number that day, Ollie Lawrence. What are your overriding memories of that special occasion?
It went so quick, to be honest. I remember like I spoke to Steve Tandy and Gregor after it, like, when I was injured, like maybe, this like just autumn just being and over the last year. And I'm quite, as I said, I just don't really get nervous about rugby anymore. Like when I did my injuries, I've had a couple over the last couple of years, and I've kind of looked at it very different coming back, just because of, I guess if you get injured, the long-term ones especially, it can all be gone quite quickly. And for me, it was like, if I don't enjoy these years of playing rugby, I'm just going to look back at my career and be like, I'm injured, or I was just stressing about it all. So I came into that week just really not really bothered who I'm playing against, or I just wanted to go out there, enjoy it, and win, because I'm really competitive. I get quite competitive at times. So Yeah, I didn't even. It went really quick, and as I said, I just went out there to enjoy it. And I guess there's no other fly off in the world right now. Probably you can go out there and enjoy it as much as you can with Finn. So he made it comfortable, and Hoggy was the same, and even Chris Harris at 13 defensively made it so easy for me, and it seemed to work in my favour, and I enjoyed it. So I can't wait to get my second cap. Hopefully I can get that soon, and it'll be nice.
It makes it a lot easier when you got such experienced players around you, I suppose, and priced it at 9. You got 4. Duhan would have been planned.
Yeah, he was playing as well.
Lions now. Man, like Scotland at the moment.
And it was Sean Maitland was the other winger, so I was the only back that's not a Lion. So it was like, everywhere I looked, I was just thinking, this is class.
Yeah, and that just shows the depth that Scotland have got at the moment, and with that back line, it's so dangerous. It must be pretty cool coming into that. It's a good time to be playing in the back line with Scotland, but also, it makes it tough for you to get into the team. But that must be pretty exciting playing with those guys, eh?
No, yeah, definitely. And as I said, like we've got a lot more depth in the centres now, even like Sione, Sam, Hutch, Chris Harris, Benzo, they're all playing well, which makes it harder for me as well. And especially being out for a while, I come back in and all these lads are playing well, so it's good. And I think you need that challenge, otherwise it's just you're never going to grow, you're never going to be a good player. So to have all those boys playing really well at the minute, it's nice to come into camp, and we've already competed for it. So, and as you said, you've got Ali and Finn inside you, Chris, Dewey, Darcy, Hoggy, all those boys outside you. It's class to have, and you feel comfortable no matter what you do.
Cam, you play for England up until the under-20s. How difficult was it for you to choose which country you were going to pick?
So it was kind of like, at the time I was in school in England. That's right. As a kid, I always supported Scotland. And there's, I've got videos of I went to 2003 World Cup because Dad was playing, and there's videos of me, my brother and sister all on the balcony singing the Scottish national anthem and all that.
And that was the orange. Was that the orange jersey around then?
I think it might have been. Yeah, Dad's definitely got an orange jersey, so I've seen that in the attic. But yeah, it's like as a kid, I was always a Scottish fan, and loved it, and I just loved rugby. But I was a big football fan as well, so I was kind of like just sport in general as a kid. Then went to school in England, and that's when I started Scotland 16s. When I was a year early, so I was under 15s, and I played actually with Andy Christie. So there's a photo we've got of us playing together, and because we were both exiles at the time, we used to just kind of hang around together, and we've got a photo of him. He was a tight head prop at the time, and I was a fly half, and we were there just like arm in arm, and it was quite cool. And then now to him to be in the camp as well, it's cool. And then after that, I went to England, all the England stuff, and for me it was I was in England, and the development was massive, and it was so easy access there because they'd come to me. I'd go to them in Leeds. All the camps are in Leeds. It was an hour from Sedbergh for me. So it was just like the development side of things were massive. And then it all kind of came quite quickly with all that. I came into a few senior camps with England, and it was there. Like I got my first England senior call up when I did my ACL, so I didn't end up going. But when I was at school, just before my A levels, did my ACL, and that's when I started revising for my A levels because I was thinking, right, I'm injured now, so I've got to actually worry about this. Stupidly, and then
what are A levels? I don't know
that. And then after that, it was about a year and a half before I moved to Bath. And for me, I think that England call up there was probably the worst thing that could have happened to me, and obviously the injury as well. But those two mixed together were just not great. I kind of went into Sale. And I probably I didn't feel like I earned the respect of the lads to get picked. And if I never got in the England camp, I would have just been like a normal academy lad who builds his way up. But I feel like, that just getting called into that England camp, I was instantly kind of put in like a bracket of, all right, he's good enough to play, when I hadn't actually played a Prem game. And, it was always, as an apprentice kind of role in that camp. So it was never like I was ever going to get a cap or anything. But I just never felt right. And then obviously I was stressing about my injury. I didn't get that right. I had another injury the following year, and it just felt like, as I said, like nothing really went my way. And I wasn't really enjoying my rugby at Sale. I wasn't really playing well. They had a very different style of play to what I was kind of wanting. And then that's when Bath came around and I moved there and started to play a bit. And then Gregor got in touch in autumn before my debut, the year before my debut. And I just said to him, I was like, mate, I've still not earned any respect off the Bath boys yet or the Premiership. I'd quite like to, really break into the Premiership before I make any international calls. And I as I said, like, if I felt respect from the boys at Bath and they actually thought, oh, fair enough, Cam's a good player, then I can actually, make a call on international if selected and actually feel worthy there. So I just said to Greg, I was like, I'd rather play for Bath and now get some game time and actually play well, because I was still fighting with Josh Matavesi at the time for the starting spot. And then after that, I started to start more in the big games, and then I felt a bit more comfortable. And then that's when the Six Nations call-up came. And, Gregor said to me, he was like, we want you to come in and hopefully if you train well, play well, you can get picked. And I was just like, I want to enjoy my rugby. And as I said, after a long 2 years of being a professional, I was kind of like, I need to enjoy it. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep looking back at this and thinking, what a waste of time. Like, what am I doing? I've just spent the whole time injured or not enjoying it. So I'd heard a lot of good things about Scotland stuff. Hoggy had been in touch, texted me saying that he was really class and, he was really enjoying it and all that. And then, obviously, from then on, the England stuff was out the window, and it was Scotland all the way. And, as I said, it was never really a thought of England, Scotland. It was kind of just thinking, what's the best thing for me right now, and what where will I enjoy my rugby and where will I play my best rugby? And I always, I thought at the time that it would be with Scotland. So that was the decision I made. And looking back on it, it's the best decision I've made in a long time, because I've enjoyed every minute I've been involved. The year I had last year was tough because of injuries, but the 2 weeks I spent in camp and the week I spent in the autumn doing my rehab, I enjoyed every minute of it. And even, the last 2 weeks here, I've loved it. So, it's the right decision. I'm glad I made it.
Jesus, your old man must have been happy when you phoned him. How did that go down?
After my debut, I got a text from a really close family friend saying, like, it was a video, and Dad was like, Cam, this bottle of whiskey is the one I got on my 50th cap. He opens it and drinks it, and I'm there like, I was like, that's class. And then that night, my sister, and she sent me a video of my dad getting carried up the stairs on.
Yeah,
my mum and my brother just carried up the stairs. So I think he enjoyed it, to be honest.
How good, man. How good. Did you, obviously, when you found out, was that a conversation that was ongoing with your old man, or did you phone him and say, listen, I've decided I'm going into Scotland camp?
So Greg called me on the Friday to say, like, we'd love you to come into the camp. We'll give you the weekend to make your mind up and if you're willing to come with us, etc. And I called, like, my dad, my mum, one of my best mates back home who I've grown up with, played rugby with all my life, and my old school coach. And I just spoke to the boys that I was really close with, and all of them just said, like, Cam, you play your best rugby when you're enjoying it. And my dad was like, Cam, if you don't want to do this, you don't do this. It's your choice. It's your career at the end of the day. And he was like, if you don't do it, I'm never going to talk to you again. But
yeah. He meant it, mate. Hey, you think he was joking? He fucking meant that.
He said he was joking, but as you said, yeah, I don't know if he really was. But no, after, when I told him that, I made the decision to go with it, I spoke to him about what the options and if it was the right thing, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to leave you to it. It's your decision. And then I called him back the day later and went, I'm going to go with Scotland, Dad. And he was like, instantly, like, smiling, buzzing, but he never really gives too much away, to be honest, until after my debut. That was the only time I've really seen him really buzzing. Even when I told him I was in this camp, he was like, oh, brilliant, well done. And I was like, cheers. I was buzzing, like, because I didn't expect to be in because of my injury. I was thinking, nah, there's no chance, I'm not playing enough rugby. And then I come into camp and I get the call up, and I was like I was on the way back from training, like, as you do in the car, I was a bit happy. I was just singing my songs, and it was a sunny day at Bath, and I was buzzing. So yeah, it was good. And as I said, he never gives too much away.
When you were looking at this massive decision where you've got Finn Russell on one side and Owen Farrell on the other, and the sort of quite different styles that the two fly halves bring, which one would have probably better complemented your game?
Not just in terms of styles, but in terms of, like, humour and mannerisms. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know which way I'm going. I'm going straight towards Finn.
Well, I didn't actually know Finn before I came to camp, and I'd heard from him. I'd heard, like, what he was like and stuff from other people, but I never met him before. but I liked the way he played, and I wanted to I thought that would complement my game a little bit. He's just so relaxed. It makes it easy for you to come into a new environment. When the first thing he said to me was about Scottish dancing, and I was just like, what? And he was just like, oh, he's not Scottish, and it gave me chat straight away. And he walks around with his speaker over his thing, and as I said, in the gym, he's doing those pull downs the whole time. So I don't know, it was just so relaxed. It was class.
He's still playing French rap music.
Yeah, all sorts.
Fucking hell. He's lost the plot, man. He's lost the plot.
When you played age group for England, you played alongside Marcus Smith. What was he like as a bloke?
Yeah, another good mate of mine, and I roomed with him a few times at 20s, and he's a really good lad, and he's also a very talented player, which is nice. So I've played with a few good 10s over the last couple of years, which has been brilliant, and I've trained alongside some as well. So Marcus he's a talented player, and as you see with Quins the last couple of years, he's really developed in his he looks like he's been playing for 10 years when he's actually only 22, 23. He's a class act, and I think if he starts this weekend and Finn starts here, it will be a class game to watch for the neutrals, I guess.
Cam, as an exile, we know you have to sing the Scottish national anthem on the team bus for your debut. How did you get on?
Yeah, no, it's good. I've known it since I was like 3 years old, so it was all good.
Of course he was. Mark, remember, he's Scottish.
I know.
He's like me. He's Scottish like me. Like we are Scottish. We've just got different accents, mate. Whereas there's some people in there, I'm guessing they didn't go very well on the old national anthem.
Well, I've only been there once to experience it, and it was only me and Dave Cherry who made our debuts in the same day, so I can't judge anyone else. But I knew it, so it was all good.
Ryan, have you had who's been the worst rendition from your perspective in your long Scotland career?
Oh, it would have been someone like VP Nell, who I don't think about 5 years ago spoke English.
Yeah.
So I'll probably say he's a good man. I love VP, but yeah, he would have been pretty terrible back in the day. Oh no, mate. And like another point on that, it's an interesting one. Obviously Haystow not in there this year. Likes of Ross Thompson, who's been playing unbelievably well for Glasgow. There's not many 10s in there, so I know that obviously Blair Kinghorn's another option at 10. Very inexperienced there. You've got to, your hopes have got to be high, mate. If you play a bit of 10, Finn's obviously going to be starting there. You're a pretty handy man to have in and around the match day 23 if you can slot into 10 as well.
Yeah, I guess so. But I've also got to look at it like if I'm not in it, and if I'm in it, I'll be buzzing, and as I said, I can hopefully cover a few positions. But if I'm not, I've not really played much rugby. I played 3 games in 8 months, so. As I said, I wasn't even expecting myself to get in the squad. So for me, if I get a game in the first block of the Six Nations, I'll be buzzing. If I don't, then I've just got to keep working harder. I'm still feel a bit rusty at times, and as you can probably tell from the last 3 games, I played 10 one of the games, 12 one of the games, and we got pumped, in both of those 2. And then Quins on Friday night was the first time I properly felt a bit more myself. So as I said, if I don't get picked, I've still got work to get on, and if I do, I'll be buzzing and I'll give it my all.
One thing for me, mate, like for your first time at Murrayfield, do this for me, because this is always the best thing ever. When that bus pulls into Murrayfield, take your headphones off. Yeah. Don't sit there with your headphones off. Get them off and make sure you listen, because that's honestly one of the best bits where you get piped into the ground. All the fans go mental. It's incredible. I guess it's because people try and zone out, but mate, if you want to soak up the atmosphere, don't sit there with your headphones on. Get them off. Yeah. Soak out, brother, because it's one amazing experience. So if and hopefully when you get it this weekend, make sure you bloody enjoy it.
I will do. Thank you.
That was when Ryan and myself caught up with Cameron Redpath. He was on a break while gearing up for the Calcutta Cup. And now, lovely to be returning to Max Lahiff, and a moment that we all love every week. It's his book club. Take it away, Max.
So I've got to do this on my own this week.
Mark, do you know who it is already? No.
I never know. I actually play the game along.
In now. Mark's in. Here he is.
No, let's not.
Right, here we go.
Let's not involve him. Don't involve him. You're not allowed to
These
play
are some of
my... Sorry, Max.
No, it's okay.
Pick last again.
These are some of my favourite nicknames for my teammates over the years. Slosh, Schlossbucker, or Biscuit, Joe Launchbury, because he has the biggest arse in world rugby and was forever knocking things over. The Unflushable Turd, / Rig City, James Haskell, despite being embroiled in a number of off-the-pitch controversies over the years and falling foul of various regimes, the Unflushable Turd has repeatedly bounced back. Schnoz or Schnoz, no, Snooze or Snoz, George Cruz, because his chat is so boring, it'll make you fall asleep. The Smug Pig, Marc Lambert. Not only did he act like he was all superior, he had a reputation for really, really enjoying his food. Polar Bear, Dan Cole. He looks like a polar bear, an animal renowned for being miserable. Snorlax, Mako Vunapola. The name has nothing to do with snoring. Mako sleeps for what seems like 22 hours a day. Beans, or 57, Willie Hines. I'd call him Beans if his surname was Jones, because he's got a bean-shaped head. And finally, the Bollock, Matt Cairns. Another simple one. He has a shiny bald head that looks like a shiny, bald bollock.
Right, so absolutely nothing about the person whose book it is, all about his friends.
Yeah, I think you can. I think if you.
Yeah, so I'm going to decipher the names. That's what I was doing here. I was writing them down. It was quite hard.
Yeah.
Willie Hines. Who did Willie Hines play for?
Gloucester, now Worcester, England, scrum half.
For a short period, just into the 2019 World Cup, right?
Mm.
Yeah, you've got, because this guy is obviously an England player, right? That's obvious. We know that. But I'm trying to work out from all these names what club he was at. Marc Lambert, what club was he at?
Quins.
Okay, so I'm guessing Quins is becoming quite a frequent answer here. So I'm guessing he's a Quins player.
Well, they both those players played in the Saxons as well. So did he maybe come across them at age group?
Is the person whose book does he play for Quins?
Mm-hmm.
Did he? Or does he?
He does.
Oh, there you are. He's not retired. I've got it.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah.
It's only the sort of person I can imagine to make all these. I mean, why was Joe Launchbury Biscuit? Because he had a big arse.
Yeah, large toilet.
I like the Unflushable Turd. That's quite a good one. The thing that just never goes away. And only a man that makes funny names like this for people, Marc, would be.
Do you want me to guess?
I'm going to let you play.
Danny Kerr?
Oh.
He's taking the pit.
It's not. Are you, mate? That's why you're not allowed to play. Right, that is why you're not allowed to play. It's Joe Marler, is it?
It is.
Marc, you're a terrible host.
Very good, Rye.
Danny Kerr.
Yeah, that's.
I was just trying to think of who's in the Harlequins who was also in England for like a long time. I literally didn't think of Joe Marler.
It's very
literally
hard.
Mr. Quins.
I actually think I do very well every week.
You're very good.
Decipher this for people. We should create a quiz show actually amongst us. But Marc, I really thought we were in unison there, but apparently not. Danny Kerr.
Sadly, that's all the time we've got left for this week. A huge thank you to the boys, as always, to Ryan, to Max, and to Cameron Redpath as well. Everybody enjoy a good Six Nations weekend, and we'll see you all next week.